Well, good morning, my amazing students. Or actually, when you're watching this, it'll be good afternoon. Today's lesson, open up your binders, go to area of rectangles and parallelograms. Pause this if you need to. If I go too fast, I just need you to pause it. A lot of today's lesson you have actually already learned, but we're just going to bring in those decimals and fractions because I don't know if you remember, but Unit 1 we learned about decimals and fractions, and so that's never going away. It's going to come back. So, area of a rectangle. The area is the surface measurement of a two-dimensional figure. We can think of it as the square units that a shape covers. You use the formula of area equals base times height, where B is the length of the base and H is the height of the rectangle. Area is measured in square units. So inches would be inches squared. Feet would be feet squared. Meters would be meters squared. Okay? So, again, remember, always write down the formula. Even if you think, oh, this is silly. Why am I writing down this formula? I know it. Trust me. Always write down the formula. Plus, when you're doing a test, you're going to get points for just writing down the formula. So I see that this is a square. So I know I'm going to use area, and it's asking me to find the area. So area equals base times height. So now I'm going to plug in the values. Area equals 5 times 12.7. So I'm going to do that over here at the side. 12.7 times 5. So we have 35. And then we carry our 3. 10, 11, 12, 13. Carry that 1. 5 and 6. I have one number behind the decimal. So that means I put one number behind the decimal here. So 63.5 centimeters squared. Okay? My next one. My formula is A equals base times height. Now, I want to point out, we talked about the base being the length, or the B being the length of the base. This is the same length as this. Same with over on this one. This is the same length as this one. So we kind of think of the base as the bottom, but because these are the same, we can use the 2.5 times 1.25. Okay, so let's plug in our values. 2.5 times 1 2/5. Okay, let's do our, I always call it around the world, but some people call it the Texas two-step. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So 5 over 2 times 5 times 1 is 5, and then add 2, 6, 7, 7 over 5. Now, you can cross reduce here, and so this would be a 1, this would be a 1, and so then I have 7 over 2, and so I am fine with my class leaving it as 7 over 2. However, some teachers want you to bring that back out since you started with a mixed fraction, to bring it back out. And so that would be 2 goes into 7 3 times with 1 left over. And that is feet squared. Okay? Okay, let's look at the next one. 2 walls of a room are being painted. Each wall measures 16 by 8.5 feet. 16 by 8.5 feet. How many square feet will be painted? You guys, this is a really practical one that you would need if you were painting a wall in your house, and you need to know the area so you know how much paint to buy. So I'm going to let you try this problem on your own. Again, area equals base times height. This is the base, or well, technically this is the base, this is the height. Remember to convert this into a improper fraction. And let's see if you can get that answer. Okay, I'm hoping you got it right. If you didn't, remember, if you were in my class, you get to do this ed puzzle 2 times. Okay, writing formulas. Formulas can be manipulated to solve for missing information. For example, A equals BH could also be written B equals A divided by H. See, all we did was divide by H, divide by H, and so it canceled out. That's all we did. Or if you're needing to solve for the height, you would do the other way. Okay, so if you're needing to solve for the height, you would divide by B, divide by B. So height can be area divided by base. So you can manipulate them depending on what it is that you're looking for. Okay? So let's take a look at this one. The area of a rectangle is 162. So let's write the formula. Area equals base times height. Okay? Now, I'm going to look for the base, so I can manipulate that to be base equals, remember what we did up here? Base equals area divided by height. So let's plug in those values. I'm looking for the base, and that equals the area, 162, divided by 18. Okay? And so the value of B would be 9 meters. Now this wouldn't be meters squared because it was the area that was meters squared. Because you had 1 meter, 2 meters. That's why it's meters squared. Okay? Okay, let's move on. You try to do this one on your own. So you know the area, but you're trying to find, and you know the height, you're trying to find the base. Remember, you can use this one up here, this formula up here, and then plug in your values. Okay, did you get it right? I hope so. Okay, number 6. Well, let's skip 6. Let's move on. Parallelograms. The dimensions of a parallelograms are also referred to as the base and the height. Use the formula area equals base times height, where B is the length of the base and H is the height of the parallelogram, which makes a, let me turn my 90-degree angle. I was about to say right angle. 90-degree angle with the base. A 90-degree angle is signified by a little box like that. That means 90 degrees. Okay, so sometimes they're going to give you some tricky information. So like, let's look at this one. We know we're going to use area equals base times height. And you might think to yourself, oh, that's 12.2 times 10. No, that's not the height. That's not the height. So you don't use that information. They're trying to trick you. Instead, you're going to use the 12.2 times 8. So let's plug in our values. 12.2 times 8. And then we get 16, 16, 17, 8, and 9. We have 1 behind the decimal, so we put that right there. 97.6. And then don't forget your centimeters squared. Okay? Not just centimeters. That might be a tricky. We might try to trick you by just putting centimeters, and you pick that answer, when actually it's centimeters squared. So you need to watch for that because you could be tricked. Okay, so the next one, our formula is area equals base times height. You plug in the values and you find the area. Don't forget to turn this into a improper fraction. Okay, did you get the answer? I hope so. Okay, that's all we're going to do for today. And I think we have a quick activity for you to do. I know for my class, I have a digital activity for them to work on. Okay, thanks. Bye.